toxic people. They're a part of every game community, and there's nothing you can really do to avoid them. But I have a few reasons why I think toxic people are pretty funny. I'm not saying they're any good for any game community, but there's always gonna be toxic people. So let's look at like some of the upsides toxic people have in communities. So I'm doing another like live game commentary because I kind of wanted to see how this would do. Because most of my all my most recent videos have been commentaries where its background. So I want to see if this is gonna do any different. Because honestly, I kind of want to see if I can bring back some of the old bedwars style content we got in 2020, stuff like that. That guy's not. So toxic people are like obviously a big part of like every game community. It can either make or break a community. Like one of the most toxic communities I've ever heard of is like Dead by Daylight. Apparently that has like an incredibly toxic community. And honestly, a lot of clips you see of toxic people in the game are so funny because they're just screaming at you for no reason. And the funny part is making them people mad is kind of funny, especially if they're already toxic. Like if I make a toxic person mad in like a game, like they have to already be toxic because just making people rage for no reason, it's not really that funny. It kind of just ruins the experience, like especially if they're a nice kind of person. But oh my goodness, because when I look at contrast between like communities that have toxic people in them, like I think the difference between CS:GO and Valorant. So they have like two different types of toxic, which is kind of interesting as I think about, because you think toxic in those games is different. Toxic in Valorant is mainly caused by people just being absolute babies. Like I'm playing against some 20. I'm like 13. I'm playing against some 20-year-olds, and they're crying because we didn't follow their plan for one round, and then they just start throwing the game, and it makes it just not fun. But then CS:GO, people will just scream the N-word at you, and it's pretty funny. Not to condone the use of the N-word.
That's not cool.
This guy hates
If you're, but it's pretty funny. Like just making some guy on your team just scream like some random stuff at you is pretty funny. Unless you're being toxic for no reason, honestly, it's more funny because when you're arguing against somebody who's just toxic in a game, it's oh my god. The funny part is when you're usually arguing with somebody toxic in a game, is usually their train of thinking is very impaired because of how like heated they are. So if you just like let them talk, they'll just say something that is just completely stupid, and then you can just make fun of them for it for the entire time, and they have no comeback because they just can't think of anything because they're just so angry. That's why I think like using kid as like a derogatory term in like a toxic argument is kind of stupid, because if you're calling somebody kid, that just doesn't help you at all. Because that's basically just saying you lost to a person who is younger than you, less developed, and they're smarter than you because they're beating you in an argument. It's just kind of silly. Like usually most of the toxic people I ever like argued against or anything are always like really hypocritical. It's just I don't understand what goes through your head to make it think that you're the best player. Like if I'm ever toxic, I do it off mic because I don't know what they could be thinking either. Like I don't know. I feel like nobody every time ghost walks. I don't know. I feel like everybody also in games these days always just quickly goes to the solution that everybody they play against is hacking, which doesn't really make any sense. I have been called reach hack, or like called out for reach, auto clicking. Auto clicking is a bit reasonable since I can dodge. Like, watch this. And I do click insanely amounts of high CPS, mainly because like my mouse is half broken and for lots of practice. But when I immediately think someone's hacking, what does that guy do? When I think someone's hacking, I usually need some evidence first. Like, mostly if I fought against them multiple times and they've definitely been like some sus things every time. You never know. High pixel could just be because of lag. But like, I don't know. The feel for like everything to absolutely need to go your way every single time is just what I don't get, because arguing that it's not going your way won't make any sense. Like, just yelling at other people doesn't really help your cause. If you're gonna try to get people to do what you want them to do, like, be at least more nice about it. Like, this is kind of weird, but you know, like, if you whenever you put like how nice you are about it is usually, because then you don't get like absolutely roasted in the game chat. Cause I don't know, because if you're toxic, you're immediately in. Because if you're being toxic, you're immediately in like a 4v1. So the first thing you're doing is just putting yourself in a losing situation. And, like, that doesn't even make any sense. You want your people with you, not against you, especially in like an argument setting. It's just kind of stupid. I don't know. They just kind of like go off on the mic. I don't know. And then they always get so mad when people are laughing at them when you're screaming at a video game. Anyway, I had to finish up the game. It's like I also said, calling somebody a kid is just a weird thing to call somebody. Oh, that was a nice comeback. Well, honestly, that's my opinion on toxic people in games. And if you enjoyed this more style comedy, please comment that down below in the description. And try to join my Discord server because it's very dead. And please consider liking and subscribing because it really helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.